All right, let's now shift our attention to what is happening in the United States, where with the 73rd session of the United Nations General Assembly underway in New York, India is expected to call out Pakistan for sponsoring cross-border terrorism. Now, India's permanent representative to United Nations, Syed Akbaruddin, has said that terror is a global concern and New Delhi will forcefully raise the issue at the UNGA forum. Now, other priorities for India at the UNGA forum will be to focus on the reformed multilateralism that needs to be brought in within the United Nations Security Council. Now, India's Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj will of course address the UNGA on coming Saturday and is expected to raise multiple issues at the 193-nation body. The tensions are running high between India and Pakistan after a spate of terror incidents in Kashmir and also the mutilation of a BSF trooper by Pakistani forces, as a result of which New Delhi cancelled a meet with Islamabad on the sidelines of the UNGA. Now, earlier in a tweet, Pakistan's Prime Minister Imran Khan had slammed India's decision to cancel the meet, describing New Delhi's move as arrogant and negative. Now, Imran Khan's disparaging remarks has in fact shut the door for any further diplomatic dialogue with India, at least for the time being.
The UNGA session has started. India will be represented by India's External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj, and focus will be on many things. With me is India's permanent representative to the United Nations, a person who we all are familiar with. So my first question is, what will be the key focus for India this time around in the 73rd session?
The 73rd session is one where it is being headed by a woman diplomat, which is rare in the UN. It's only the fourth time in the history of the UN that a woman diplomat is heading it. India takes pride in it because, as you know, the first woman to ever head a United Nations General Assembly was Srimati Vijay Lakshmi Pandit of India. So issues of gender are an important issue. For us, we are proud that we have an External Affairs Minister leading our delegation, symbolizing that gender parity is something that we deeply cherish. The Minister will be articulating India's views on a host of issues. These issues, by definition, are global in nature. They relate to climate action. We have a very good story to tell. India is, in many ways, a champion of the environment. Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi himself has championed many environmental causes. You are aware of his interest in new and renewable energies. In addition, we will also focus on what are issues of a perennial nature. Counterterrorism would certainly be one of them. But there are other new emerging issues such as digital technologies and what threat the dark web poses to the international community. We are among the forefront of matters relating to digital, and therefore we will be addressing them. We also will be addressing matters relating to peacekeeping, as we are traditionally a large peacekeeping country. These will be, in a nutshell, what the areas we focus on, but encapsulating all of them is that we would like to address challenges and stresses that have come up in the multilateral system. And India is multilateralist by orientation, by tradition, and we would like to try and help in overcoming those stresses and challenges.
So, as you just mentioned, cross-border terror will be one of the key issues. India has been raising it many times, and the world is also being impacted by this issue. So, one on this, how much cross-border terror will be the focus? And also, there are certain countries who have been raising certain issues. How does India plans to counter that?
So, terrorism, by its definition, is a threat to nation-states because these are theoretically non-state actors who threaten civil society. And therefore, our effort is that all in the Committee of Nations try and address this collectively. Because it's a growing threat, it is manifesting in areas where it hasn't manifested previously, and it is a perennial threat. It is not new. This has come to the forefront after 9/11. But we in India were aware of this much earlier. It was actually way back in 1996 when we made the plea. At that stage, not many took us seriously. Today, there is a huge support for this. However, legal outcomes always take time, because the United Nations, by definition, moves slowly, because multilateralism requires consensus from everyone. And we will pursue that. We will push this to the extent possible, but we are also understanding that these things are not time specific. They will take their time to happen, because normative issues, norms, do not mushroom overnight.
So on that question, on certain countries raking up certain issues and kind of being a solo player at a time when the world is moving towards issues like development or climate change?
One of the good things of a global forum is that it provides everybody an opportunity. That opportunity can either be used to broaden friendships, strengthen coalitions, or to follow tracks where there is no resonance. It is for each country to decide that, whether they want to do something which has no resonance in the global community or to join the rest of the global community. India, for its part, is in the mainstream of the global community. If someone else wants to do and fritter away the time for what they want, which is an annual itch with them, this is their choice.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. So that was India's permanent representative speaking to Wion and talking about various issues and how India will be focusing on issues such as multilateralism at this year's UNGA. With video journalist Mukesh Siddhant Sibal for Wion in New York.